Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and as promised, I am going to show you at least 10, maybe 12 different ways to cover a blank page. If you've got a digital printed, because I told you a lot of these digitals that I'm putting together, they're only printed on one side. So if you've got a blank page on the back and you have no clue what to do with it, then I'm going to show you quite a few ways that you can cover that without having to use another digital. Now, a couple of them that we're going to do, we're going to use another digital on the back, but most of them we're going to use other things that you probably got in your stash. So I did a little research over the weekend on different ways that I could approach this, different things that I could do to bring this to you. And of course, my go-to place when I want to learn something new or just hone in on a specific skill is always Skillshare. Skillshare is, as you know, the largest online learning community with thousands and thousands of different categories such as art and illustration, Canva, photography, graphic design, journal making, card making, and so many more. All you have to do is type what you're looking for in the search bar at the top, and it will pull up every video that is in that category, ranging from beginner to advanced, and there are so many different types of classes out there. They're taught by industry experts, so you don't have to worry about if this is going to be okay or not, or if this is going to be taught the right way, because they're all industry experts, and they take a learn by doing approach. So they encourage you to do the project along with them, and that's what I did on Saturday. I sat down and played with a lot of the things that I was taught. And I'm going to put on the screen right here, I'm going to put the person that I was learning from over the weekend. I took her complete course, and I think it was like 11 different classes. So I took the complete course and I really enjoyed it. I learned lots of things new. Some of the things I had done before, but a lot of the things I learned new and I had not even thought about doing. So join me in learning from Skillshare. Just be one of the first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code at the top of your screen and you will receive 1 month free trial of Skillshare. I learned so many I can't show you all in this one video, but I will continually add them into my videos in the coming days. This first one, and I'm just going to pull these off to the side. This first one, as you can see, this is Alicia's digital. It's called Beach Vacay versus Mountain Vacay. So Beach Vacation versus the Mountain Vacation. I printed them on one side intentionally because I wanted to do this video for you. So what I have done is I pulled a scrap piece of paper out of my scraps. And we're going to use this for, I just tore it crooked, meant to. We're going to use this for the top right here. So I'm going to put some glue on this, and I've got my paper down here because I'm going to be doing some stamping and inking and different things. So I just put some scrap paper underneath, and then I take this paper and I use it in my projects. Just make sure that you get plenty around the edges and in the middle, because that's where it's going to be folding, and you want to get a good adhesion. Now I'm going to have little specks of ink and things on mine because of this paper. I've got some different inks back there, but that's okay with me. It's not a big deal. Not worried about any of that. Okay, I got a bone folder around here somewhere. Alright, so that's what we're going to do right there. Now on the bottom portion down here, I'm going to put some lace because we can make a lace pocket. Look at that. I'm going to cut this little part right here off. That's a piece that I had been using for something else. Now, if you don't want this white behind your lace, just bring your paper all the way down. I don't mind this, but I tell you what I think I might do. Let me see. Do I have a blue here somewhere? Let me find a blue ink. Got Broken China from Tim Holtz. So I'm going to take one of my little brushes. Now, I got these brushes off of Amazon. They're very inexpensive, and I use them over and over again. And I'm going to go lightly at first because I don't want to make big streaks. But it really doesn't matter, does it? Because we're going to be covering this with lace. Now, Broken China is a very pale color until you do a little bit of build-up with it. And this brush had a little bit of brown on it, so it's pulling some of that brown in too, but that's okay. Now, I don't know particularly the trick on coloring like this. The way I do it is, you know, it might not be the right way, but when I ink my little brush up, I go down very lightly and just barely touch the page until I can start my momentum going back and forth, and then I press it down a little bit more and a little bit more. And that usually keeps me from getting a lot of hard lines. I still get them all the time, but you know, it will work. Okay, there we go. So we've got a little color behind that. And now we can put our lace down and see what a difference it makes. It makes a huge difference, doesn't it? I love that. So I'm going to cut this off. Now my hands are already nasty because I've been playing with this all morning. So I'm not even gonna wash them this time. Usually I wash them off for you guys, but this time I'm gonna leave them alone. You're just gonna see my nasty hands because I can't ink, glue, anything without getting glue and stuff all over me. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just run my glue, and this is Fabri-Tac. My go-to when I'm putting down lace and trims. Your art glitter glue will do it. It just takes it a little bit longer to adhere. And I like quick, as you know. I'm very impatient. Okay, pull that down a little bit. And then we're going to go on this side. Now, if you stitch, you can stitch this on. You don't have to glue. You can stitch it. But I know a lot of people don't stitch. So that's why I'm showing you this way. But you can definitely just run your sewing machine around it and you've got it on there. And it's over and done with. But I'm just going to show you the glue way. Just for the video. I would probably stitch it real quick if I was just making it for my journal, but since I'm making it for the video, we're going to go this route. Okay, so there, see this side, and then there's a beautiful background, and I've got two double pockets. Once this is stitched into the signature, I'm not going to fold it right now because it's wet, but once this is stitched into the signature, you're going to have a pocket here and a pocket here, and it's a very pretty page. We use scraps and then a little bit of ink and lace on the bottom. So that is number one. I'm going to lay that aside. See what we have for number two. Okay, number two is literally gluing two pages together. You guys know how to do that. I'm taking two pages that I like together, and I'm going to glue them. And I'm going to use my glue stick because our glue stick glues very well. I don't have any problem with it turning loose. Never have had. And I've used it on journals and scrapbooks for many, many years. And if you want to check into any of the products that I use, there'll be a link below the video that you can just go over to our blog, and all those products that I use are linked there. Well, they're listed there and then they're linked there. So I just put my glue around, and I kind of start with the bottom, and I just get it even, and then I work my way up. I use my bone folder to press it down, press all that glue out, and you have a double page. that's glued together. Once it dries, you're not going to have a problem with it coming apart. Just make sure you get lots of glue around the edges and down the middle. But I put glue everywhere, but just make sure you get lots of glue those places. There's some more of my ink coming up. So that's number 2. Now number 3 I already did, but I have done these many times with you guys. I just took 2 pages, put them together, and then I stitched around them. But if you don't stitch, don't worry about doing this. Just glue them together. It works the same way. But I just stitched. All I did was I put a little glue right down the middle to hold it in place, and then I stitched around that. That's it. Now, let me show you something on this one, though. I meant to do this while I had it in my hand, and I didn't. If you want some stitch lines on these and you don't sew, take a black marker and just put some stitch lines around, or brown marker, whatever color marker you want. It doesn't matter. And just put some stitch lines around there. You can put some little short ones, some long ones, some zigzag ones, whatever you want. And you can just go all the way around like this. This is an old number 1 marker that I've had for many, many years. But look at those stitch lines. If you didn't look real close, you couldn't tell the difference, could you? Other than this is brown and this is black. So there is number 3. This is an Arteza watercolor pad, and it is metallic. But I will tell you, you can go to Walmart, Hobby Lobby, you can get it off of Amazon, whatever. As you can see, this one's well loved. This is just like a $4 little watercolor pad, and it works just as good. Just as good. All you need is a little bit of watercolor. If you don't want to buy any watercolor and you have some Tim Holtz inks, you can use those for watercolor. Just get you a piece. Let me just do it and I'll show you. Let me grab me a piece of plastic. So I use just a piece of plastic. Take your Tim Holtz ink, press it out on that plastic. And I'm pressing a lot, but you don't have to press that much. All right, let me move some of these things out of my way. And let me grab another one that doesn't have a backing here. Most of these that I printed don't have backings. Okay, here's one. So we've got this one, no backing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this in to watercolor. I'm putting some water on there, and my water bottle's about empty. So, but it doesn't take much. Now, I'm using this brush just because I like it, but you can also use just a cheap brush like this, or a little brush, whatever brush you have in stock. If you don't have a brush in stock, then take this and just put your paper over it. Let me just do a little edge and I'll show you. Just take this and press your page down like that. See? Now it does grab real quick. It works just as well. Years ago, and I've still got a video up that's very, very popular. This is how I colored a lot of my pages for my coffee dyeing. I did it like this because I didn't want to go outside and do all of that mess. And so I just took brown inks, refills, and I did my watercoloring like this. I did my coffee dyeing like this. Now I'm going sideways. That's just the way that I like to do. But you can do any way that you want. I'm going to close some of this up because I'm getting in a mess here. So see, I've got some on the background, and I'm going to take this and I'm just going to fold it, and I'm just going to touch it in some areas like this. Just going to get all that ink off of there. All right. So that is that one. Set it aside, let it dry, and it's ready to go. And you can write on that side too. And I love that little bit of, I don't know if you can see it, it's a little bit of that Distress oxide on there. If you wanted this to be a little bit lighter, take your water bottle and spritz it and then tap it off with your paper towel and it will pull some of that ink up. But I kind of like that color. So that is another way. Now, if you say, well, that's a little bit messy for me, I don't really like that, color it and make it not messy. You know, I like mine messy, but color it to where it won't be messy for you. You can also stamp over the top of these once they get dry. So I'm going to lay this one aside, and then I'll show you one that I've done, and it's dry, so we'll stamp on it. Now, I did this with the metallics. As you can see, they're metallic. So let me grab a stamp. Alright, we're going to use this Tim Holtz Botanical Collage. And I'm going to use this stamp. Now, you can stamp this in any color that you want. But I tell you, I like to stamp in the same color and it makes it a little bit darker. I like to go with the same color. And I don't mind if I don't get it exact, you know, if everything is inked or not, that doesn't bother me. And then I go down lightly, and then I usually put it in another one somewhere else, like that. Okay, so that's one. And then let's grab another one. Now I wash all of my stamps off once I finish. So don't get on to me. I wait until I'm finished with everything and then I take them and wash them. Okay, so this one I'm going to put about right here, and I'm going to press it down a little bit more. There we go. And then I'll just put third generation right there, second and third generations. So there's that, and that, to me, that's enough of that. I don't need any more stamping on that. That, to me, that's all I need right there. But you can keep on, you can stamp whatever you want. Let me show you, and I'm trying to find my little, here we go. This is a little stamp, and it just says memories. And I'm just going to grab the same color. No, I'm not. I'm going to use a different color ink, just so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to grab one of my VersaFine Clairs. This is in Pinecone. And I'm just going to take it and go right across the bottom of those. Like that. And to me, that's it. That's all I need right there. Okay, so that one is finished. Look how pretty. I like it. I really do. I love stamping and inking. I don't do it enough because I get really, really messy. As you can see. So that was what, 4 or 5? I don't know. I've lost count. This is another one that you can do, and this is just plain book page scraps. And I've just took some scrapbook pages in many different colors, and I've put it on the back of this. I've just collaged it. Now, you say, well, that's not, you know, I don't know if you can write on that or not. Well, you probably can't, but you could always put a little whitewash over the top of it, and then you could write on it. But what I will do with this is I'll make pockets and put tags in there. You can also stamp on the top of this. Let me grab a stamp. I'll grab a couple of them. That way we can stamp a couple of different ones on here. And let's see, what colors we got over here? We got blues and browns. I may just use my vintage photo. Let's see what it looks like. And I haven't cleaned this stamp off, so it may pull in some other color, but that's okay. You don't want anything really dark anyway. There you go. You can keep on stamping if you want, but to me, that's all I need right there. Just a little bit of stamping. Okay. Now, if you do this and you find that some of your book page edges are coming up, just put a little bit of glue over the top of it. Now, when I'm going to use this glue for a topper, what I do is I put a little bit out on a pan, and then I add a little water to it, and then I just brush it on because it dries clear. It works just like a Mod Podge, but if you've got Mod Podge, you can use that as well. But there you go. That is another. So then let's see what else we got here. Okay, this is one that I just did I used this ink, peacock feathers in the background. I used my brush and I just brushed it on, and then I stamped. Simple, easy. But that is another beautiful page. To me it is. You know, this may not be your thing, and if it's not, that's okay. It doesn't have to be. Okay, then I have another one here where, if I can get it, pick it up with my fingers. This one I just used a background stamp, and this is my little background stamp that I've had forever and a day. I do not know where this come from, but if I can find it, I will link it below. But this is just a little background stamp, and I just stamped it in some different purples over on that, because as you can see, that side is purpley. And then you can write over this. So I just went in different ways and stamped it. That's filling the background. See, look how pretty that is. If I didn't have the little white line down through there. This is one of the pages that I culled, but I will end up using it. Now, here is another example. These are some of our in-house. We make these in-house. These are stencils, and I used the beeline stencil over here, and I made the lines. And then on this side, I used the coffee stencil. And all I do when I'm doing that, let me just do one real quick and we'll show you. I think I have another one right here. Yeah. I put this down, and usually I put a little washi on it, but I'm not going to this time. It will be fine. If it slides, it's okay. And then I just used my little brush and my ink, and I just go over all those little holes. This one is we made this one. This is my Ease coffee stencil. And there you go, look at that. And then this one is Ease beeline stencil. And I already have a little washi on that one, so I'll just leave it. And I just go down those little lines with my ink. Use whatever color ink you want. I'm just using my Vintage Photo. And they don't have to be so perfect. Don't worry about them being perfect. We're not going for perfection. Okay. So there is a background done. If you wanted more color to it, you could add more color to it. I did do it upside down because I didn't look at that side, but that's okay. I will still use this for tags and things. So that is another way. Now I'm just going to show you on this one a little bit of watercolor. But this is just my little metallic watercolor pad here. And I've got some water poured out right here. And let's see, we've got browns and oranges, so I'm going to go in this side of the palette this time, I think. Now, I don't worry about mixing mine all together. That doesn't bother me. I can always wash them off if I need to. And then I go in one direction. I either go this way or up and down. I like to go side to side, or kind of in a swirl, because to me it makes it look like the wind's blowing. I don't know. But that's up to you. You can do whatever you want. And I'm not going to make this too dark. Now I'm touching it very light first till I get some of that ink off of my, or some of that watercolor off of my brush. And then I go in a little bit heavier. See, I just like that side swirl. I don't know why. To me, I like it better than up and down, but that's up to you. You can do it any way that you want. You come in a little bit darker, you can go a little bit lighter. It really doesn't matter. It's all up to you. And I'll show you another little trick too. I learned this the hard way, I guess. I guess you could call it the hard way. Put something underneath when you're doing this, and then just go over it. And I don't know if you can see it or not, how it pulls that texture out. So you can use different types of textures. I actually had a crumpled up piece of paper under one of mine a little while ago, and I did that, and it pulled out all of those little crumpled pieces. Now these you do have to set aside and let them dry, but that's not a big deal to me. They dry in no time. So that I like. And you could go back and stamp on it. You can also go back and do some watermarks. Do some mark making on it if you wanted to. I was trying to see if I had any kind of pen here that I could do mark making with. Don't think I do, but if you wanted to do some mark making, you could go back and just, you know, do some little teardrop shapes or whatever, and just do some little mark making. If you've got a big fat pen, you could go and make some little marks on there. I know that you guys have seen other people doing mark making on YouTube, so you can do that on here as well. As a matter of fact, I did a little bit of it on here. I did a little bit of mark making on there. So that is another one. Now another thing that you can do, and I'm not going to do it in this video because it would take me a really long time, but you can also put your washi on the back of these. Like if you have a lot of decorative washi that you're just sitting in a drawer that you don't use, take your washi tape and either put it this way, diagonally, or crisscross, any way that you want to make a background. You can also use scrap paper. If you just have some scraps, you can tear those, tear them in lines, squares, whatever, and put them on here. There's tons of different things that you can do to cover the back page, to cover a blank page. Believe me, there are lots and lots. Before I realized that my printer would actually print on the back page, I did that. I just colored all of my back pages, or either I would stamp them or I'd use my stencils, something. I would use all kinds of things to cover a blank page. So, you know, there's many different things out there, many different things that you can try. Go through your stash, find out what all you have, and then just start playing around with it. If nothing else, play around with a little scrap. Just put it on that scrap and see how you like it. You can punch out different things. You can punch out circles, use circles all around the edges and then clip them off. Use squares, triangles, whatever you have. Just use something that you have to color in a blank page. You'll find out that it's a lot of fun and that you will really enjoy it over time. I promise you. I am not one to play with my watercolors as much as I should, but I should play with them a lot more because I really do enjoy them. I enjoy dragging them out and just sitting around and playing and getting really messy, because I know all that's going to wash off. Give these a try. I'm going to link all of them and try to kind of show a picture or something of them on my blog. And I'm also going to link the Skillshare class that I took. Most of them that were in the class I had already done before, but it had been many years since I had tried it, and it gave me a refresher in it. And like I said, if you want to be one of the first 500 people to get 30-day free trial on Skillshare, then all you have to do is click that link below, if you're one of the first 500 to join, then you will get 30 days for free. And I want to thank Skillshare so much for sponsoring this video today. I really enjoy working with them. They're a wonderful company. As I've told you guys before, I have been taking classes from Skillshare for many, many years, and I have loved every one of them. I don't think I've ever taken one class from them that I thought, that wasn't worth it. It was. So we will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.